And we are recording. I see the file. Cool. Continuing in the Talos Principle 2. Key was provided by Tinsley PR for Devolver Digital. Alright. Almost forgot about that. I am hopefully at the base of this, right? Yes, I am. Hang on. I'm just having to adjust the chair a little bit. Alright. Come on. There it is. Okay, so to here now, and we'll see when that one gets unlocked.
You're on your way to an island. Yes, another island. Sorry, Melville. Well, it actually used to be a valley between the mountains, but it's mostly flooded now. That probably happened long before the founder came here, though.
Another legacy of our ancestors.
Do me a favor, will you? Look for another one of the founder's labs. We can't get back into the megastructure without getting to the third site in the north, but I need more information to make more fixes.
And actually, I want to rush to the lab, just like I did in this zone. Look at the ghosting as the rings come by with the trees. It's definitely visible. It's not horrible, though. It does correct itself pretty quick, but still, it's most certainly there. Okay, how are you here already? How? Okay. 3 X's. I've got no idea where I am. Alright. Let's head over this way first. What exactly is... Okay, that's the golden... Why is that not on the map yet? You just... make sure it's on the map. Interesting. I don't recall having an opportunity to look in on one of those. Very interesting. Anyway. No, that's just the light falling there. I do see that there. Okay, so I'm here, approximately. So, alright. But, yeah, let's look at this. Oh, wow. I actually did get deep enough for swimming.
We begin with the self, because that is what determines our existence as individuals. But the self cannot exist without that which surrounds.
Okay, don't do that. You're not allowed to swim. Now, how much of that record, like... Okay.
We begin with the self, because that is what determines our existence as individuals. But the self cannot exist without that which surrounds it. The citizen lives within the city, and the city lives within the cosmos. So now we must apply the principle we have discovered to the wider world and ask, if man is like a machine, could it be that the universe is similar in nature? And if so, what follows from that fact?
Okay. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's not capable of distinguishing between, say, an ore and a tree. What are you talking about? I mean, it's like, no, one is a rock, the other is wood. These AI would not be very useful if they couldn't tell those apart. And if they're trying to say that, well, a tree is alive, it's like, yeah, which also means then that for a time it's able to produce resources separate from the wood. Like, sap from a tree has various resources. And also there's the whole, like collecting the branches instead of trying to take down the entire tree for the wood of the trunk. I mean, it's like, it still is, if you're saying, oh, it's just going to reduce its resources, it's like, yeah, but it would have an understanding of the golden goose kind of thing, where it's like, sometimes the eggs are more valuable than the goose kind of thing, so you don't kill the goose. I mean, I don't really get what this, maybe not paranoid, but this is still kind of stupid, it's kind of idiotic. And then this point is a little bit of a non sequitur. And a sec. Okay. Sorry, just cables getting a little tied up. And actually, is that a better? Yeah, I made it better. Short lifespans, sure. Soft flesh and bone bodies. You think they think we built dams without, machines? What? And it's also short lifespans. I mean, how would they react to some of the cathedrals that were literally built over centuries? I mean, it's like you would have, if not necessarily a biological line, you would have a trade or vocation line, I guess would be a way to put it, for craftsmen, where it's like the master would start on it, have an apprentice that would be in part trained to continue the work on that same cathedral, and then that apprentice becoming a master would need an apprentice to pass it down, and so on. It's like you had something like that. And in some cases, yes, it would have been father to son to father to son, and so on. But in other cases, it might not have been. It's like, how would they react to that? If that's mind-blowing.
Strap in. This is a long one.
Oh, goody.
You may have heard the story of the carpenter who died to redeem humanity's sins. It's a powerful story. Bittersweet, very human. And I just want to tell you that it's true. He was a real person. And his name was John. John Carpenter. He was born in the year 1948, and he was the coolest filmmaker to ever walk the earth. From Halloween to The Thing to They Live, the totally underrated In the Mouth of Madness, mind you, he just made classic after classic. All of his movies, really fun, really atmospheric, but also really smart. Even when they were goofy, most directors would kill to have made just one of those movies. And what did he get for it? A big, fat truckload of nothing. Well, less than nothing. The studios, the critics, even the fans, they hated him. The Thing, okay, for example, which is about as perfect a movie as you can make, completely torn to shreds. And his career never really recovered. Every movie after that was a struggle, and after a while, he just got tired of it and quit. He only really came back to movies in his 70s. How many works of genius did we never get because of that? Look, I have a point here. People like Carpenter, people like Alex, they're not always appreciated in their own time. If you just do what's popular, you might never create anything important. Of course, we admire people who did the right thing, who didn't conform, but we only ever admire them after the fact. What matters is to support people when it's difficult.
Okay. Okay, I think I got the idea here. I wish I'd found the labs to explain this, but... Okay. But this is simple enough that I think I got it. Okay. Oh. So you're able to charge it up and put something on there, but how do I... Because the moment I do that... Yeah, that shuts down. So is that, but... I thought this was simple. And I've got no practice. This is literally how I'm learning it. Oh, wait, it can't actually... Nope. I can't... Yeah, I did that in the first game, too. Both are up. I might need to just come back to this. Yeah, leave it there. It doesn't look like there's something like you gotta climb outside. which, I'm sorry, the first game and Road to Gehenna definitely kind of mentioned that. Kind of make that seem a thing. Okay, you know, yeah, let me... Well, yeah, that's true. Yeah, I just... Let me check something here. Okay. I don't know if that gives me anything, but because it's lateral inhibition. Nah, I think that's just referring to the fan itself. Something I can put there, but the moment I pick that up, that dies. Forget it. I got nothing. And it might just be I don't know how the hell the accumulator works well enough yet. So I'm gonna keep going. I want to find the lab. I want to do that first, because that'll likely have a model of the thing in it, so that'll teach me a little, and also doing all the other ones. You know, actually, the puzzles that are supposed to teach me how to do things. Let me get something here.
Is it possible that on some level, people want to believe that everything's going to get worse? That it's comforting to think that humanity is bad and every solution will just go wrong? Because that way you're never responsible.
Not necessarily,
you never have to
but...
take on responsibility for anything outside yourself. Never have to grow up.
There can also be, if you're certain that everything's going to go wrong, a kind of relief, because that knowledge is a form of relief. Okay, so this is the other triangle. I guess, what the hell, why not see if... Okay. This I feel is more approachable. I'm just trying to think on how. Oh, okay. Yep. Alright, fine. We'll set it up over here. that shuts that down, so that won't work. Yeah. Oh, wait, what? Okay, I didn't realize that there was two like this. Okay. Alright, yeah, this is it. So this isn't so bad. Well, it is, actually. I just realized I did screw it up. But no, I got this one figured out. I got this one figured out. There. Means I can now take this over here. This, because that can be closed. There. No, once I realized that I had this spot, this became easy. I like that. That's clever.
Before we built New Jerusalem, we used to explore just like this. Small groups setting out for the horizon, looking for resources, trying to make sense of the world we'd been thrust into, trying to find a way forward. It was a hard time, but I can't deny that it was also exciting. I think it's part of our nature to be wanderers. Our ancestors crossed entire oceans on flimsy wooden boats, just to see what else there was.
Is it weird to feel nostalgic for a time I never experienced?
No.
I just think I could have contributed so much more back then.
It's not weird, but it wasn't all sunshine.
True.
People died. Yemo, Calvin, Isaac.
I know, Al. They were family to me.
Sorry. It didn't mean to reopen old wounds.
It's a legitimate point, but I don't think it invalidates the sense of wonder we felt. That's what kept us going.
Okay. Save that. Right. Yeah. Laser accumulator allows you to basically have a portable laser source. Okay. That's the closer. Hopefully I can get to it. Might not. Don't know if I'm north or not. Okay, so this is this. Oh, yeah.
One of the most foolish illusions that commonly persist is that nature is a victim and humanity is a perpetrator. This can only be the opinion of someone who has not witnessed nature at first hand, who has not seen its immense and awe-inspiring baseness. Nature is mindless chaos and eternal conflict.
I disagree with him on that.
A system of predation and consumption whose perfect cruelty can only induce a terrified and unwilling admiration. Nature is our most powerful and least honorable enemy. A beast that consumed every last one of our ancestors and will consume us just as quickly if we are not successful in our struggle with it.
I would never reduce nature to being so chaotic as he was putting it. And as purely an enemy, it's... I mean, I can agree with his sentiment there, yes, but not all of it, basically. Yeah, I didn't think so. Okay, I am really hoping it is tracing out a safe path for me. It does seem to be. Alright, that actually wasn't too bad. The one in the previous area was a lot more complicated. Create a Prometheus map without stopping the spark? Okay, cool.
We cannot return to the past, but the future can redeem all that has happened.
I'm good with that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that achievement was because it never stopped. I was relentless at chasing it down. Okay. Okay. Nothing to talk about with Yakut. 3. Okay, so could this be no. I really want to find that damn lab. That's actually false, but yeah. I'll get to that. I want to finish reading this. I'm trying to remember where... It was a newspaper that talked about... No, this is false. He wasn't... The trial was not about the heliocentric model. Wasn't about that. He was writing a book to try to defend the argument, and the book, there was nothing wrong with the book. The Vatican censor he was working with was okay with it, but did tell him, yeah, you have a character here, because it was meant as a dialogue. It was written as a dialogue where it was basically the proponents of the heliocentric view and the proponents of the geocentric view arguing. And the thing is, he kind of presented one of the geocentric views as the Pope and being stupid. And the censor was like, yeah, the book is good, but you can't do that. You're mocking the Pope. You're insulting the Pope. You don't do that. That's a very bad thing to do. So if you could just, make those changes, and then you'll be good. It's a little complicated because he was then in quarantine in an area. Just, that's what you had to do. It's like if you were in a city and some disease got in, that they had quarantined the city. Also, that censor died. So a new censor came in that wasn't fully aware of everything going on, and Galileo didn't really tell him, and then just published the book claiming to have the approval, but published it without the changes, and so was insulting the Pope. He made an enemy of the Pope. His claims weren't the issue. Him insulting the Pope was the issue, which you can still say that wasn't justification. That's easy. But the portrayal that it was because of the heliocentric model is actually incorrect. And nothing I remember seeing, this was long ago, that with Copernicus also advocating for the heliocentric universe, and people try to say that, oh, the Vatican tried to get rid of him. The Vatican threw him a publishing party. And it's like, it is false. It's actually, and the funny thing is, it's more of a modern concept that science and religion are in conflict. That back at the time of Galileo, back at the time of Copernicus, that wasn't really the view, at least not a dominant view. But it is still that is not why Galileo was ultimately tried, and he committed suicide, but it still, yes, it was because of the trial. That's kind of a fair point. Sorry, I'm just... Sometimes I want to be able to look over and make sure the desktop's working right. The fact that I can hear and that there is video does tell me, because it's past... Anyway. Sometimes I just get a little paranoid and look. Okay. This is another reason why I don't like the compass design in games. It makes it much harder. Okay, so there's one out this way. And that has to be it, right? That has to be the lab. There's no question marks left, except if they're at distance. I mean, don't get me wrong. I do understand why the compass system exists. That doesn't mean I think it's ideal or that it should be used in all the places it is. You know, one thing just occurred to me. It's really stupid, this idea that they can't swim, the new humans. They were built in a dam, so they're right next to a lake, and it's like, yeah, we're not going to make it so they can swim. Wait, what? How does that make any sense? Alright. I'm sorry, it's just, like, legitimately, I would make sure that they could swim specifically for that. Whoa, Byron, you came in here.
This is where they must have lived. Athena and Moran.
We don't know that.
You know, for a moment, I almost expected to find them here. But the only thing that's still functional is the megastructure. I'm sorry. This must be awfully strange for you being thrown into all this history. But that's why I needed you. Because you're not burdened with all these memories and conflicts and regrets weigh on our minds like a nightmare. Our civilization is caught in a loop, 1K. We freed ourselves from the simulation, but now we're trapped again, and it's our own fault.
Only Athena freed herself.
We're afraid of taking responsibility, afraid of growing up. Instead, we make up some capitalized words and build up all these myths around them. Nature, balance, the founder, the goal. We're afraid to face the randomness of the cosmos, but equally afraid to imagine a better world. So we're stuck. I've been trying to find a way out for years. Something, anything, to get people to understand that we do actually have free will. That building a thriving, expanding civilization doesn't have to involve repeating the mistakes of the past. But I failed. Over and over.
This is... I kind of want to push him on both of these. Now, let's go with this one. I want to charge him a
Because
bit.
for some reason, people find it easier to cling to cynicism and self-hate than to actually have hope. Because believing the worst about ourselves, calling ourselves sinners and fools, somehow still seems wise.
It's a little more complicated than that. Okay, good. We do get both. I mean, just the... I mean, calling ourselves sinners and fools, it's like, I mean, well... I mean, I am a Christian. We are, but if you leave it at that, then his point is valid, but that's not the end of it. Is that there is redemption, there is forgiveness, but you still need to work towards that. You don't just try to leave it at we're sinners and stop there. It's you do keep going, so it's... I'm sorry, but it's like that is a... I get his point, but it's like he's stopping that step short, and that's a very important step, and would be... would help him, I feel, as well, that it's like, you know, it's... You gotta keep trying. And, yeah, you can and very possibly will fail, but you keep trying to earn that, to get that redemption, get that forgiveness in the end. I mean, it's... And there is a wisdom to identifying that you are a sinner, that you do have these flaws, because if you don't, then how do you get out of them? Then how do you succeed them? How do you get past them? So, I mean, it's... Basically, he right now seems to be pessimistic, even fatalistic here, which is not his normal character, but that doesn't bother me. It really doesn't, because in some ways you can see how... I mean, it's kind of like the whole clowns are some of the saddest people in the world kind of thing, where his appearance, his persona of being this optimist, in some ways that can weigh very heavily on somebody, on a character, because they have that optimism because they feel so pessimistic. That's like they need to believe there is something beyond what the need for the hope is. Like, you know, he needs to believe that there is something beyond the loop, as he was referring to it. And he because he needs that, he tries to show that to everyone, that you need to have this, but at the same time, he does have that fear. So, yeah, I mean, it does actually make sense. It is consistent with his character. It does kind of make a question of, will he return to being the optimist, the hopeful person? And he's not necessarily a great optimist, like everything's going to be all right. He's more optimistic that there is something beyond that. But it is, as I was saying, to believe that there is something beyond your situation sometimes does also require that you really have an issue with the current situation, that you hate it, despise it, or that it makes you depressed even. I mean, it's like that there are aspects there that it kind of makes it polar, where there's that great good, but there's also that great ill attached to it. And we right now might just be seeing that ill for him, so... But it's, you know, the whole Christian thing is like, yes, there is that ill, but there is also that redemption. So it's like, we are sinners, but there is forgiveness, there is mercy, so keep trying for that.
Yes, because this is something unexpected, an anomaly. Everything we found on this island challenges who we have become. It shows us that different answers are possible, and maybe that can break people out of the loop. All we need is a spark. Maybe that's why she made all this, the puzzles, the towers. A way of jolting us out of our complacency.
He's not saying the thing, though. It's Miranda that's the key. See, this is... If I'm right, that they've manipulated him, the character here, where he's focusing on these other things. It's Miranda that's the key. I'll go with this.
Neither do I, 1K. But I try to be optimistic. Now, let's see what else we can find here.
That's interesting. I wonder if there's some special meaning to that. What the hell?
Melville, eyes on 1K's stream. Is this thing what I think it is?
Blow my fuse box. It sure looks that way. Best not touch it until I get there.
And boring is... No, I don't feel like pushing it, but yeah.
I think it's a somnodrome. It's a sort of analytics tool for processing mental data that Melampus streamed up.
But all he ever did was sketch out the theory. As far as I'm aware, he never actually built one.
Looks like the founder gave it a go.
Especially since I was.
Well, what we know is that our deeper algorithms are hard to pass. Melampus stipulated that the computational power to interpret them in real time would always be beyond us. But in theory, the somnodrome would interpret that data and loop it directly to our senses.
People were hoping to find answers to the big questions by having a conversation with our own subconscious. If you ask me, it's solipsistic at best, and pseudoscience regardless.
That may be. But if the founder figured it out, then that device could be an extremely important discovery. I would advise against it. You may have survived all those data stream overloads, but interface with that thing and you're liable to get bricked.
Oh, wait.
Not to mention risking the data we could get from it.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm sorry, I want to push this.
But if 1K wants to do this, I won't get in the way. It's his decision.
Understood. But if 1K starts to smoke, don't be slow to pull the plug.
I just want to say this doesn't make much sense to me. Because I mean, they are literally mechanical devices, well, electronic, but it's like there are programs there. There are like it is. They have been built, so I'm not sure how you can fully say that there is something that couldn't be observed. I mean, I can understand that with the human brain because it is biochemical, it is also quantum mechanical, so there are things there where your precision in measuring would be limited. Or in fact would destroy the system, but we don't know how these brains work, and they have been built, so it's... I don't know, it just seems odd that this... Like, they're giving a metaphysics to an object that should exist physically with very... Like, it is a very definite device. I don't know, it's just kind of weird. Unless they are trying to say that, no, they have achieved a kind of emergence. Which is, how is it that humans have this conscience, this sentience, this superintelligence, and no other species has it, or has to our knowledge ever developed it, any extinct one? It's like, what makes our genetics sufficiently different from everything else that you could see it come about? If you look at it just from the physiological, the biological point of view, how does that make sense? That is a major question. I guess it's just weird to assume that has also happened for them, and that we don't really know how, and that's where this comes in. But yeah, let's do this stupid thing. I'm just like, I don't know why you couldn't get both the data and do this, but I figure, yeah, let's do this. I mean, huh. Okay.
1K, can you hear me?
Yeah.
What did I say? You fried it. Who knows what data we've lost?
Melville, I still think it's worth you coming here to take a look. 1K, let's pack up and explore the rest of this lab.
Byron, I wouldn't quite say is a utopist. I get if he's just trying to counter the religious pessimism with Byron's optimism. I mean, but utopia is not that great a place, and I'm sorry, but Byron doesn't quite align with some of that. All right. Oh wait, hang on. There was the research. Just this thing. One of the loopier first companions. Woo! I like him. I mean, just if Melville's calling him loopy, I mean, it's like that's almost say I want to meet this man. Haha! I knew one of them would open up eventually. Okay. See, it would also help with some of the stuff if we had a timeline for when these messages arrived. Okay, I wasn't sure, but here we are.
The singularity sustained itself longer this time.
Did we get the data?
We did. I think we just obsoleted quantum physics.
Maybe. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. We need to be able to replicate these results.
You know, I've been wondering. You told me that in the simulation, one thing that kept you motivated was looking for answers. Do you think that with the work we're doing, we'll ever run out of questions to ask?
I don't think so. Trying to understand the universe means asking the same question over and over. How? How do you make fire? How do earthquakes happen? How does gravity work? How do particles behave? You keep digging deeper, finding another set of mechanisms, another set of hows. Step by step, you demystify reality. But then, if you keep doing it long enough, one day, you run out. You've answered all the hows. You know how the universe works. So, now what?
Now you ask why. Isn't that the next step?
It's not quite that easy. The question of why cannot be answered. Even if it could, it would only be followed by another why. At some point, you have to accept that it all just exists. But there is another set of questions. What's next? You've stripped away the layers of mystery, you've laid bare the machinery. Now you have to start building, to add your own layers of meaning.
There it is.
Are you okay? You overloaded again.
Yeah, I know.
Yes, I saw. It came through on your stream. Strange to hear her voice again. But that was her. The way I remember her. The real Athena, not this imaginary founder. I was one of the first she woke up. There was just a handful of us in those days. A small family in the ruins of a dead civilization. It was hard. Harder than anyone can possibly imagine. We had nothing except what Alexandra Drennan and the Institute left us. Now that everyone lives in civilization, they don't understand how necessary it was for us to build that civilization. They can fantasize about living in balance, limiting growth, retreating behind our walls. They don't understand what it really means to live in the wilderness. How close we came to not making it. How many people we lost. Yema was just the first. But Athena understood. She believed in humanity. She believed in us. In the inherent value of consciousness. Her dreams were so much bigger. She wanted us to reclaim the earth, to reach for the stars, to build and grow and learn. The city was already changing before she left, turning inwards, forgetting the future. Once she was gone, other people shaped her memory, turned her into the symbol they needed. I understand all that, as depressing as it may be. What I don't understand is why she didn't tell me. If she came here to do all this, why didn't she bring me along? She did. She must have. I just don't understand. But if all this is a test, maybe there's an answer waiting for us in the megastructure. Speaking of which, let's get back to exploring. Melville should have reconnected the next station by now.
That does have me curious. I do believe he is going to be disappointed, by the way. That he has... It's like he's focusing so much on the megastructure, and as I think it's Miranda is the key. That's what Athena truly wanted to achieve. And she did, to some degree. We'll find out exactly how much eventually, but, yeah. But he's still so focused on the megastructure that he might not see that. Alright. I want to get to 1. I want to do these in order since I clearly am missing something with that based on the one triangle that's over there. Isn't it? Oh, no, it's over there. Okay. I remembered it being near 7 and 8, so... yeah. Alright, here it is. And I also have... that to work on. Okay. Alright. Oh, no, that didn't do it. Alright. This is 1, 2 is over this way. Right here, in fact. Nice, we got a converter. Hang on, what is... Back dogs? Pugs have weird problems because of how they're bred. Yeah, let's actually go with that one. Acknowledging that, breeding them back. Oh, hang on, sorry, I forgot I wanted to look at this. I am north of it now. It's like I am in the right spot. Okay. Actually, what does this do? Okay. Yeah, but we end up with that problem. But, no. What was the name of this one? Okay. Triptych. Yep. So what was tricky for that with me was tricky with that for me. There we go.
There's so much history here that we can't. The founder must
the
have
green having to be generated
hundreds of times, maybe thousands. Miranda must have stood right where we're standing. This all looks alien to us, but it must have been familiar to them.
If this was their home, where are they now?
They must be inside the megastructure, waiting for us to pass the test. It's the only thing that makes sense.
But yeah, the fact that the green has to be generated, I was focusing more on that initially, but once it was like, well, wait, I can capture the green. And it's like, oh, wait, maybe I got something here. Well, there's something there. I don't think I have anything. There's no icon. Where are Al and Melville? I haven't seen them walking around. Huh. Okay. I got no idea. I don't think that there's like any ability to just jump there. There's gotta be something else. Okay. Aha. Yep, got it. Need this. Alright. Now what? Okay, load the fence. There. I don't have any orientation on the map. I know I'm to the, well, I'm pretty sure I'm to the north of it, but it's just, and the fact that that is so small, even doing this, that is so freaking small. I'm sorry, that is going to be a patch at some point. It's got to be, where it's like, yeah, you can actually, like, you know, zoom in on these things now, because we realize that, oh yeah, not everyone is playing on massive. I mean, as it is, this is I'm using a 32-inch television, and it's like, it's too small. As I was gonna say, it's not like people can be using 32-inch. Everybody uses 32-inch displays. Oh wait, I'm using one. Yeah, I couldn't. It is also television. I'm seated further back from it. I don't think I could ever use 32-inch as a display, as a monitor. I think 27 is as high as I would go. Okay, what am I? Okay. I was just so confused as to where anything was that mattered. Okay. Oh, the wrong kind of thing. There. That isn't really gonna get me much, though. That's the red. And I've not even seen the red. Okay, well, hang on. At least it is not at all possible to reach these. I genuinely have, like, no idea. Yeah, in theory I can connect to that. Where did I put it? Oh, here it is. Okay. I mean, that I can't reach. Wait a minute, what color? That needed blue. No, that doesn't make any sense. I mean, it's not... Yeah, because that stops it. And there's no line here, is there? No, there isn't. I truly have no idea. I mean, it's... this is also just, like, how is anything... What are you supposed to do first? Okay, so... Getting red here does nothing. So it has to be somehow getting the blue over there using two lenses. Ah, what? And not even free to use lenses. I mean, in theory, there's this. Which would be great. The problem is that there's no line from here to there. And it also cuts it off, so that can't be it. Is there a line here? Okay. There is. How about even here? Okay. Then maybe I can get a line going. There. Alright. Alright, now we're talking. Now we're talking. But that might not be super useful. It gets me here, but Okay, so this is probably in a bad place. Let me just see. Oh yeah, and that doesn't line up that way. Oh, wait. Okay, put it there. There. And that should actually be the solution. Right.
I'm glad to see all those overloads haven't damaged your logic circuits.
Nope. I is smart. Oh, hey, it's Al. Nope, nothing to talk about. Okay. Okay. This is important. This means something. Sorry. I am down here. This is where I am. Okay. Okay. I keep doing that, sorry. Because I think this is right. Sorry. So I came up. That on my left, this on my right. No. Okay, no, it is this way. Alright. But over there... Let me head this direction. Okay. But it could also be wrong because, I'm sorry, this is really stupid because it's like, you don't have a mini-map, so it's very easy to have no clue where you are. And the thing is so freaking small. Oh wait, no, here it is. This is the one I already turned on. That figures. Okay. But it still is. I now know it's this one. So I can just head, I'm gonna say west. Even though it's technically north. See, that's another thing about it, is that those things are not oriented according to the cardinal directions. It really is stupid. But I head this way. I just need to head towards this. Yeah. And it will be over here, but it's on another island. Okay. Most likely... Okay. So this is the connection. I'm pretty sure I'm at this connection right here. So yeah, that'll... Facing on this, that's... Yeah, that is really on my left. Not just to my left, but on my left. So now this... is the correct... No, this is this island. So I need to continue west, technically north. is I should be able to just follow this, I think. Down here. That should be that. That's the thing right there I'm looking for. Hey, Melville. Goodbye, Melville. I'm sorry, Byron, I don't want to talk to you just yet. I'll come back and talk to you, but I want to do this first. Okay. No, come back, Melville. It's a Byron.
Hey there, 1K. Look, self-reflection is important, but only thinking about yourself, your inner identity, becomes narcissistic. You exist, whether you like it or not, in a dialectical relationship with the world. Identity has no meaning without society. Society has no meaning without the individual. It's in that tension that we really come into being.
I mean, no, identity can exist without society as well. But it's still, he is true that society only exists from individuals. Okay, so... Yep, right there, I see it. There, now it's... Come on, there we go. That's it. Okay, and I can't get there yet. Alright, that's fine. But it still is. I know where... I've gotten all that I can, and that one I'm gonna be going towards anyway. Yeah, see, I mean, this is so much better. You know what? Let me actually do this. Screenshot that. Screenshot that. I was like, this isn't even half the size. It's terrible. And I'm dead serious. I can only believe that is going to get changed at some point. That there will be a patch that will be like, okay, yeah, you can zoom in on these things now. We heard you telling us that this really can't be this way. I don't know how it would have gone through testing, if I'm honest, though. I mean, just that seems like something that testers would have been like, you can't read these things. They're too small, right? And I don't know how that would have been not addressed sooner. Although, to be fair, that could have been we got a solution, just let's ship the game first. That's a bit more important. I don't know. I do not know. It seems obvious enough to me that it should be done that I don't know how it would not have been. Okay, so... Okay. Where's a light source? Ah, here's one. Oh, that's an interesting trick. Oh, no. Duh. Sorry. You can't just do that. Okay. I get it. I get it. There. There were puzzles in the original game that were like this, where you had to get something just balanced. Not bouncing, but like balanced between them.
What is it now?
Why did you upload a picture of your hand?
Why do you care that my hand is in the picture?
Your hand isn't in the picture, it is the picture.
I like it. It's very artistic. Let's stay professional, everyone. It's not right to make fun of Melville's comically absurd inability to take decent pictures. She's a hyper-advanced humanoid machine, not a photographer.
You'll pay for this, Byron.
I might not actually use that video, but I do enjoy this stuff. It is entertaining to me. Okay. So what does this do, if anything? Okay, that's nice. Okay. No, I did see a wall. Oh, there it is. Let me do the... Well... No, this probably won't actually achieve anything useful in the long run, but... Okay, that makes sense. Is this actually the first green laser source? It might be. It legitimately might be. Okay, there. Now I need this here. Where did I... What the heck? Aw, man. Although, at least I can do it this way. I am liking the laser puzzles so much better than so many ones in the base game. Original game, I mean. Ah, yeah. Okay, so... So this is, I think, the one that I didn't get earlier. And I still have no idea. I mean, you could still grow things. I mean, you can't eat them, so there's that issue, but... I mean, you can't return to being who we used to be thousands of years ago. You weren't those people! Still... Wait. Oh, that's the wrong one. I meant to agree with Ovis. Sorry. Ah, well. Whatever. That one I'm not too broken up by. That I clicked the wrong one there, but... Alright. Yeah, so back to this. Which gets me here, but yeah. I guess let me try this. I doubt it will work, but still, let me try. Nope. Okay. Nope. So the thinking here, even though it's not working, is this allows me to turn it off. So then that isn't going. So I can run down, but obviously it doesn't quite work that way because of that. Although... maybe I have it right, I was just doing the order of operations incorrect. So I do that. Yep, that's all. Had the order of operations incorrect. Turn to a puzzle for a second attempt. Yeah, I did do that. There. I didn't realize that would even be an achievement. Okay, so that should mean I've got everything here except for these last two, and obviously the gold door. And yes, there is also that hopefully I will remember about. That almost felt a little like Minecraft as I think about it now. Holy crap. This, oi, what's the name of this one? Rainbow, okay. Ooh. Okay. No, that... Okay. Nope. That one was still a little trippy, but obviously I did get it.
I'm so glad I'm not in charge of solving these.
I can't blame you for that, Yakut. I really can't. Unfortunately, the Triptarch one really does set you up for this, but man, this is nuts. I don't even mind if I use that screenshot because it's technically a spoiler. Just because it's like that one's just, I mean, it's actually kind of awesome. I do like that puzzle, but it's also just, what the hell is this? I can understand a lot of people being like, oh, what? I'm just going to guess that's something to do. Oh. Okay. Oh, duh. Hang on. Sorry, I keep forgetting because I don't like the whole you have to send stuff through these. Send lasers through those. I don't like that. Get there. I just realized I didn't need to do that. Okay. I don't know, I'm just gonna assume that there'd be some value in keeping the box with me. That's not actually gonna do anything here. Anything useful anyway. At the moment I pick that up, yeah, I lose that. Okay, so that is just... Okay. Man, what does this do? Oh! Well, that makes it a lot easier. Maybe. Maybe not. Hang on. Okay, so... But no, it still is. The moment I pick that up... Yeah, okay. Wait, where... Okay, that's the idea. Got it. Got it. That actually won't matter. Oh. Well, no, that's fine. Alright. That's all of them. This is that one, yeah. Okay. That isn't gonna... Yeah. Okay. What have we here?
Sometimes it seems the only choices we have are renouncing civilization or mindless expansion. But that's not the only path forward. Embracing deliberate control over nature doesn't have to mean destruction. We are a species of artists and artisans, blessed with the ability to transform the raw material of the cosmos into new and better shapes. Shapes that have meaning. With our technology, we can take this chaotic world, so full of suffering, and turn it into a work of art.
Yeah, I didn't think that would... That's not it. Better... That can't be it. Maybe. Yeah, this looks right. Alright, good. Now let's try to get over to that island. Looks like this path right here. Here it is. Let's pick the thing up before I can forget. Because not wanting to forget is a legitimate reason to do things.
If the fool persisted in his foolishness, would he become wise?
That is kind of a good question. I guess it kind of is a question, because an aspect of wisdom can be recognition of foolishness. So, continuing to be a fool can help you lead there if you gain that understanding. But if you at some point must stop being foolish. So, yeah, I don't know exactly how you want to do some of that. Yeah, it's Pandora again.
Creature of clay, you have taken another step towards the flame.
I've taken several.
Before you continue, ask yourself, have the gifts of Prometheus ever truly benefited your people? Or have they brought nothing but strife?
Well, we exist purely because of that, so... Yeah, I mean, without his gifts, we would no longer even exist. Lady, I'm a robot. I kind of like that one. I'm not going to do it, though. I don't want to set her off. I think that this is the better one.
And you repeat your mistakes until they destroy you.
Not necessarily. I mean... I'm sorry, that's a really stupid comment from her. I mean, it's like... saying that there's just no ability to do anything but make the mistakes. That there's no ability to learn.
There's 3 towers per cardinal direction and 3 entities. You'd think it would be symmetrically arranged. 1 tower per entity, right? But we haven't seen Prometheus at all.
We're built to find patterns. Maybe we're trying to find patterns where there aren't any.
To be fair, that's a real thing with humans. I'm trying to remember what the name of the effect is. There actually is a name for the phenomenon that... It's basically... Why is it that when we look at the night sky, we see constellations? Like, why is it that we somehow form images in the sky? And here, I'm gonna stop, because it is starting to get late, and it's also... I like these being one per zone. And I will mute it, too. There. I don't remember what the name of that is. But that human beings, real ones, not just these guys, we are in fact wired to find patterns, which leads to all kinds of things. But one is like, finding constellations. How is it that, we can find any patterns in there, especially when you consider so many constellations, so they skip over other stars. It's not that there are no stars between the points you connect for Orion. For the Big Dipper, the Little Dipper, or Ursa Major and Minor. I mean, it's like it's not that simple. That we are skipping over things, and so we do find those though for whatever reason. Then, in the case of constellations, we build up stories so that they become remembered. And it's then it becomes kind of a cultural thing because we know the Greco-Roman, the European constellations, but I know there are also Arabic constellations, Middle Eastern constellations. I don't know how much for African and Asiatic. Or Aborigine for Australia, or American, North or South. But I would very much believe that they all had their own constellations, but we predominantly know those of Europe. At least in this country, it seems. Which is kind of a shame, but It's also, we primarily teach the Greco-Roman mythology. We don't teach the other ones, and that's the stories with constellations tend to connect into one mythology or another. And there was, oh yeah, that's right. Another example of the finding patterns stuff, which when I did the anti-aliasing articles, however many years ago now, one things that was talked about there was the stochastic sampling. And I do talk about it in the article. It's not a very long one, because nothing, well, no, I take that back. There is one thing that uses it, not for anti-aliasing purposes, but the idea with stochastic sampling is you're hiding. Okay, stochastic sampling means that it is, instead of it being, we are sending out a sample at this point, and then this point, and then this point, and this point, where it's all very regular, instead it's actually random. The reason you would do that is that will produce noise instead of like a jagged pattern for a, for a diagonal. When instead of it being dink, 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 it would be dink, 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 dink. And doing that noise actually, believe it or not, is more tolerable to human vision, because there's no pattern there, it's random, so we don't pick up that it's a pattern that is a pattern that doesn't make sense. So it is advantageous to exploit that, and stochastic sampling was an example of that, because in theory, you can reduce the impact of aliasing. You technically, well, you are and are not reducing aliasing with it, but you would be doing that at a 1 by sample rate. So you could visually come up with an image that might be equivalent to, say, 2x or 4x with MSAA or SSAA, but at 1 by sampling. So you've not increased the sampling, you're just changing how you're sampling. And there is actually a game that uses this, but not for aliasing purposes. Well, at least not completely. Metro Exodus actually used a stochastic sampling method for their ray tracing. And the funniest thing is, when I was working on that article, I kept, finishing it, and then it's like I would go back and read through some of the research papers again and look at some of the citations in those papers, and it's like, this is a great thing, I should add this in, and kept doing that. And then it's like, okay, I finished it, and then Metro Exodus was coming out. I hadn't submitted the article yet, and Eurogamer with Digital Foundry did an interview with some of the developers of Metro Exodus, and in the thing they talk about how, we found this paper from 1987, and it was like, this is exactly what we need to solve the problem of ray tracing is really hard to do, so we can't do many rays per pixel. So what they did is they had it be stochastic. So that way it was in temporal accumulation, so they were using old samples as well, we project them forward. But by selecting randomly where the ray was going to build the ray tracing, it was hiding patterns in there that would appear as aliasing. It was making it noisy, but human vision is more tolerable. Tolerates that better. So it was actually kind of funny when it's like, it is being, the moment it said 1987, it's like, is that the paper? And then read like the next sentence or two. It's like, yes, it is. This is actually used. I'm so glad I put this, because I had already written that part of the article in there. But it's like, I can go back now and say, like, yes, and it is used. Not for anti-aliasing, but it is used. But there was another thing with that, and some other stuff, because one thing that I saw from this, it's not in the anti-aliasing article, is the idea of frameless rendering. And that, oh my god, I want to see that. I legitimately want to see that. Like, there's no way anyone at AMD or NVIDIA would ever see this, or Intel. I just don't believe that would happen. But it's like, and I almost had an opportunity to work at AMD, it just wouldn't have worked out well for other reasons. And that was also with their Apple unit. But anyway, there would have been something I would have pushed, knowing this stuff, I would have pushed for, hey, can we try to, do some experimental driver stuff? What kind of stuff? Frameless rendering? What's that? So the idea, and this is one of those things that I could believe it surprises most people that it is the case. So, because I've not been capping, well, the frame rate is capped, but at 90, not at 60, and I don't have VSync turned on, there's been screen tearing in this, right? That's because, for whatever reason, GPUs actually do render from top to bottom, well, left to right, top to bottom. Right, so it goes dink, 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 all the way over, and then dink, 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 all the way over. That's how they render. It's in quads, it's not single pixels, it's 2x2, but it's also how LCDs display. Yeah, it is actually going from top to bottom. If you look up, I know Level 1 Techs has a Leo Barnard, I think is what they call it, where it's basically a device that just outputs along the HDMI a 60 Hz signal that just has a bar here and just goes dink, dink, dink. It just goes through the, from top to bottom. And it has a light sensor so that you're able to measure the latency. And they do record that it is, in fact, a greater latency at the bottom because it needs the time to take the signal that's black, 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 white to draw it because it goes like that. It's not just updating the entire screen at the same time. Or it actually is part of the spec of DisplayPort that you can send just the data to update a frame. So it can I'm just trying to look. I mean, unfortunately, this is translucent. So are the buttons. Yeah, but let's say that those were opaque. You could actually send that these buttons never change that they don't change. Just reuse that, but replace this image because this is changing. The logo might also be changing. There's a little bit of a fog effect there. Here, something that would be great for UI kind of stuff, but it's like how, these predominantly are staying the same, but, this may change over here. So it'd say, don't change any of this, change the stuff over here. Now, I would love to see that combined with frameless rendering, where it's basically like, yeah, we're not going to render it left, right, up, down. We're not going to render it that way. We'll render this side of this quarter of the screen, then this one, then this one, then this one. And then it might not continue in, well, here, let's go 1, 2, 3, 4. It might not continue like that. It might not go 1, 2, 3, 4. It might go 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 1, 4, where it does that. And they can actually be advantages to doing it that way. But there's also adaptive frameless rendering I saw as a paper, and this was actually shown off at SIGGRAPH, where it would be like, okay, so we don't need, I'm trying to remember exactly how it went, but it was basically, all right, we're only going to render the spots that we needed. And this was being tied to ray tracing as well. But it was like, this is black over here, so there's basically no reason to re-render this. So we focus over here. And this information we can just reproject from older frames. It was a fascinating thing. But it's also, by doing that, like if you were to go, and even at the quarter screens, resync, you might not need it so much anymore. But if you could get it much smaller, like to the level of quads, where you like just randomly even, so using stochastic sampling to decide which quad gets rendered and which one is sent out, if you did, well, let's assume it's 1-to-1, that as it's rendered, it's sent out, you would actually end up, even at not the native refresh rate, you might end up without screen tearing because it won't be a horizontal line going across. It would be like the quad here and here are out of sync, but then the quad here and here, the quad here and here, but other things line up. So it'd be just like a speckling across the screen that would have screen tearing, but they'd be so small, you might not even notice it. It's a really fascinating idea, and in theory, it's just you change how it renders, but you're not having, like, okay, technically you might need new hardware just because some of that stuff is really hard-coded in there. Although it's also not, because laptops do actually use it. The DisplayPort part, I don't remember what that's called, but that feature is part of eDP, the embedded DisplayPort that laptops use. And it is part of the larger DisplayPort spec, as I believe. So it's like you might be able to take advantage of that to eliminate screen tearing, or at least greatly reduce the significance of it, without needing any other special kind of VSync. No double buffering, no triple buffering. Just it renders in such a way that you that you will not see screen tearing. It would be amazing to see that, and especially if you then kicked it to the next level and had it where, well, if you could combine in some temporal reprojection, maybe not do that, because then you risk, temporal artifacts like you see with various TA methods like ghosting. But you might be able to do it in such a way. Crap, I had the thought and then lost my mind. I'm really having trouble speaking. But it's still, you might be able to use that. You would address screen tearing. You wouldn't be hitting performance. You wouldn't be hitting no, you would not be hitting latency. You wouldn't, because you could tune the stochastic algorithm to avoid certain issues. So it's like, you could keep it from, it's just constantly rendering up here. Why aren't we getting down here? There would be ways, there would be algorithms to make sure that it is properly going all around the screen. And that's if it's not adaptive at all. You could also enable adaptive so that it's like, I need more information here, but it's like, here, this isn't changing much. That's something that the GPU, you would need a more advanced algorithm there. But you could do that. But one thing that I think could be interesting is, could you apply that with ray tracing? Doing frameless rendering there, because could that allow you to decouple, the ray tracing performance and rasterization performance to accelerate things? It's like, if you could enable that, then you could have you could enjoy the far better rasterization performance, and maybe the ray tracing performance can be layered on top. I'm not entirely sure, but it still is. I think that if you could do a stochastic frameless rendering or adaptive stochastic frameless rendering, I think that would be worthwhile. That you would see potentially, like I said, you could have no latency penalty, because if it takes, it's at 90 FPS right now, right? Let's say it's 100, so that's 10 milliseconds. If it's stochastically, if it's frameless rendering with stochastic or not, it'll still take 10 milliseconds to render the entire thing. But if you remove the screen tearing, the image is better, or you change it so it's not noticeable, the image is now better. So you have a better image at the same performance. It's like, that I think would be awesome, but I have no idea if any work has ever been done on something like that, outside of working on a paper for SIGGRAPH. But it was shown at SIGGRAPH, so technically the attendees, which would include AMD and NVIDIA, and probably some at Intel as well, would have seen that. So I don't know. And that would have been years ago. The anti-aliasing article itself was years ago. Yeah, it is just a really fascinating thing, but it would be we have to change how how a GPU renders, which I could see that being we're not doing this. Why not? Because it would take so long, and people of such high expertise in the field, we can't do this. It's not viable. We need them working on everything else. But it's still, it would be really neat. And by the way, yes, Intel would also be there. Intel's been involved in graphics for a very long time, longer than you may realize, just not with discrete GPUs. That's new for them. But that's another thing, that the morphological filtering, I prefer to call it filtering, but morphological anti-aliasing, MLAA, I'm pretty sure the oldest research paper I saw on that was actually from Intel. That they're the ones that figured out how to do that. And that's one of the earliest, also from what I could tell, filtering methods. Well, post-processing methods, I should say. Post-processing methods for anti-aliasing. And it still has impacts today. Like SMAA is a version of MLAA. And also DLSS. I'm sorry, but the way they describe DLSS 2.0 is essentially SMAA. It's just got, for the morphological engine, a trained neural network. And it's like, it makes perfect sense. What they describe for DLSS, where it tries to look at the image, figure out what it originally was, so that it can it can blend things appropriately, and it can input noise to try to add detail back into upscale. That's a morphological engine. It's just a very, very advanced one. So, yeah, and it is like, I'm pretty sure it was Intel that did that original research. And they were looking at it for the Xbox 360, oddly enough. I know that was it the 360 or was it the original Xbox? That was the Xbox was somehow tied in there as well, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't Microsoft research, it was Intel research. But yeah, I would love to see frameless rendering. Anyway, I'm just trying to think. Do I have anything else to really talk about? I don't think so. And you probably want me to stop rambling. I'm still enjoying it. I do like the accumulator. It's tricky. It is kind of tricky. Mainly just the triptych and rainbow mainly are the tricky things. That one triangle where you had to realize you could switch it off like that. Yes. That was a little weird, but that at least is like an inversion, and it's an opposite thing. Whereas, man, the rainbow thing, I mean, that's just, I could see people struggling with that just because of having to remember that that just the power of the accumulator. That's a very powerful thing. And just really wrapping your mind around, oh yeah, I can do this. So yeah, but I'm liking it. I mean, I'm liking the game. It's continuing to be gameplay-wise good. The story so far, like in this section, this part, I don't think it's really built too much, except for getting to know Byron a bit better. And just seeing what might happen with him. I honestly do believe he is going to have some crisis by the end of this. That I could see it being something like Athena's gone, we find Miranda's the key, but he obsesses with the megastructure. That it's like, no, I have to find Athena or something. And it's like he becomes so obsessed with Athena and the megastructure that he can't understand and accept Miranda. I do feel that that's possible. And in part just because he is such a paragon in some ways. And they're chipping away a little bit to make him human, but I do feel like they will have him fall in some way. And part of the reason why is so that then 1K can fill that void. That 1K taking this all in and rises thanks to Miranda, or with Miranda, depending on how they may do it. But Byron falls, leaving a void there for this voice for progress. I could see it being something like that. But it is still, one thing, it just occurred to me, and I'm not going to make a note on this. Well, okay, no, I will make a note. It's just, timing-wise, it doesn't mean anything yet, but this thought is an important thought. The reason for the goal has not been explained or really touched on yet. There we go. Despite having cleared 2 of the 3 north zones. Basically just, I am making it, I'm almost at halfway through the game, and yet we don't have that explanation yet for why the goal exists. And I don't feel that they're knocking on that either. It's like, why was this a thing? Because that has to be answered. That is very important. That must be answered. And I just, the breadcrumbs for it, I feel, need to start soon. Because I feel like certain aspects of Miranda are going to be wrapped up shortly. Like we're not going to find Miranda, we're not going to find Athena yet. But I feel like we're getting to know Miranda, that maybe the whole why it's significant that she's the daughter, or how she was made. I feel like we might be getting some pieces to that soon. Such that, revelation there is done. Okay, what's the next revelation? I mean, it's basically, we're approaching the end of an act. And we need something to wrap that, to bring that act to a conclusion, but also to set up the next. And we have to have the explanation for the goal. And it's just, I could believe that that's what the next zone will be about. The next larger zone, west or south. Let's assume it's west, so we're going counterclockwise. That's west. And then south is like is some sort of larger mystery that's going to be addressed. That's the really like, this is what's going to change the world kind of thing. But this area has been about Miranda. That's what I kind of feel could happen here. But it's just, I feel like we have to start, breadcrumbs have to start soon, because it is a big deal. The goal is very, very significant, so we need that information. And I just don't want that to be until the very end. Just because it's been set up so and I don't want them throwing something new at us until that one has been at least started to be addressed. Yeah. But it still is. It's a funny thing, but it is, to me, the gameplay here I'm enjoying better than the Talos Principle. But the story of the Talos Principle, I still think was more engaging. And that's key. Engaging. I'm not saying it's better. This is still a pretty good story. It has issues, storytelling issues. This is still good, but Talos Principle was more engaging for me. Alright, that'll be it. I shall see you next time when we will be finishing off this zone. Hang on, this is Tuesday, right? Yes, okay. Yeah, so then tomorrow, Wednesday, I can't do Thursday because I have stuff I need to do when I would be recording. Friday, I'll have time and potentially to do the whole 3 zones of the one after, and then Saturday, I should have time as well. And then Sunday, maybe gold, if that all goes according to what I'm hoping. Sunday can be either gold door kind of stuff, or whatever. Maybe there's going to be more wrap-up I have to do, or I'll be able to start on writing. Alright, see you next time.